Hello everyone, welcome to our first community showcase. I just want to make sure, because it's the first one, that everyone can hear me okay. I don't know if there's someone out there in the world that can check for me, but yeah, I think we can just get started and just talk about some updates from our community. So maybe just give you an idea of the agenda and some of the things I want to talk about today, and some of the things I really wanted to highlight from our community. So yeah, so first I'll give a quick update on some recent things that the community has been up to, some things that some really cool projects that have been taking place in our community, some contributions, and yeah, some new Rasa heroes that we have as well, and some of the really awesome things they've been working on, which might be really relevant to you as well. The next thing I wanted to chat with you about is some changes to our community forum. So maybe there's some things that are interesting for you to know about, some things that might be relevant for you. Also a little bit about what we're working on in developer relations, like what's our focus and our priority right now, and the things that you can look forward to. And also a highlight video. So I actually recorded this a few weeks ago, and it's pretty much a highlight of many actually bots in production, bots that are actually available to the community already, and some of the ones that are in our community showcase on our website. And I really wanted to maybe deep dive a bit further into them and how they work. And just share with you this highlight video. So in future, I really want to do this via stream and do this more interactive as well. But for this situation, this case, we're gonna watch also a video. Someone just let me know also the volume's a little bit low, so let me just quickly fix that. I'm not sure if maybe if I turn it up now, if it's better. Hopefully Deshani can let me know, but I think that's the max that I have. Maybe if you're able to turn up the volume on YouTube as well, maybe it helps. Let me know. Thanks for checking. Thanks Luigi Tales as well. Sorry if I adjusted the volume too much now. We will get there. It's actually the first time I've streamed in a couple of years now, and I have I'm a bit rusty, to be honest, but I really want to, take some time to actually interact with you as well, and find out what your, thank you, Dishant. I don't know if you can hear my Slack going off in the background. I'll just close it now. Dishant, if you could let me know maybe in the chat. I'm actually going to close it for performance reasons as well. So anyway, I don't want to go on about technical problems, I'm sorry, but that's a classic thing I think when you do any kind of live demo, right, as you also probably know. And then maybe we can also just do a bit of a Q&A throughout the stream. We can answer some questions. I would say focus mostly on the community itself, so maybe projects and how you can submit your projects, what perks and things that we offer, and the way that we acknowledge amazing contributions, because everything takes time. Just one PR, one type of fix, it still takes time, and we still really appreciate everything that you do to support the community and help us build Rasa Open Source, what it is today. So yeah, I just wanted to maybe highlight some of those things that have been going on in the community that have really been helping the community advance, and maybe also some support on the educational level. So yeah, maybe we can also get started. I hope, just double check you can see. Yeah, so I'm just going to present, and then maybe we can talk about the first thing that I really wanted to highlight. So super exciting, actually. Something that we're super hyped about at Rasa as well, and something that is really special and that's happening in our community at the moment. And I was just also talking to my colleague, makes us feel very grown up, and Linda mentioned that it makes us feel very, very grown up at Rasa. And that's actually Howell and Guan, two of our superheroes and heroes, have actually published their first book. So and it's also for pre-sale right now. So this is just so cool for there to be a book out there about Rasa. If you're also interested in getting your hands on that, you can also get in touch with Howell, and I will also share all of the links with you as well in the stream. But maybe just to give a bit of a background about who they are, and also a little bit about what the book is about, and so who they are. So actually, Hal and Guan have been contributing to Rasa since like the really early stages of development. So you could say like the dawn of Rasa pretty much. And yeah, they've actually been contributing like code. They've been doing talks. They also been helping other folks that have bots in production over in China as well. And yeah, and really have been like super pivotal actually at growing the community in Rasa, in China especially. And yeah, just really supporting the local community. So it's through also like having a QQ chat, so like the local chat platform that they're using. They also answer questions in the local languages, and folks that are also maybe not speaking English as well, and they maybe still have questions about Rasa. They are also really supportive to the community there. So really amazing work. I think like one of the first contributions that Howl made to the code base of Rasa was 2017, so a few years ago. And yeah, it was there to allow like you to load models dynamically through the cloud storage. So that actually definitely saved people a lot of server restarts. So there's just an example of like some of the really cool things that they've worked on, and actually since then many more things. So yeah, really thank you so much for the contributions. And a little bit about the book. So the book that they've just published, actually, it's primarily targeted at NLP professionals. So it's also covering though like a wide range of functionality of Rasa. So I would still say that it's still very relevant to anyone who's getting into Rasa, that has different levels of experience with Rasa. And yeah, it's also split into 3 sections. So the Rasa framework, Rasa in action, and best practices. And you know, in the end, Howl and Guan have just an incredible and massive experience on Rasa between them. They have so much past experience with using it, so they definitely have a lot to share in terms of best practices. So would definitely think it's worth to check out. And if you want to support them a little bit, and the best thing to do is probably check out on social. So on LinkedIn, I can also share with you as well. I'll put it all in the description. There's a post by Howl as well with a link to the book. And if you want to also maybe pre-order it and write a review, I'm sure they would also be really happy for that. So really amazing work both. It's obviously I feel like it's a huge general milestone for our community to have a book out. And at the same time, it's really going to help us kind of tell more people about Rasa and get the word out about Rasa even more. So yeah, amazing work. So happy about this. And yeah, the next thing I wanted to talk a little bit about and highlight actually is a few of our heroes. And you can probably see that I'm opening chat, but I just wanted to make sure that there's no technical problem. So first thing I wanted to maybe just highlight and let you know about, I think it also could be really relevant for you to know, is that, for example, Angus also became a Rasa hero recently, and this is part of our contributor program. So as soon as you make consistent, high-quality contributions to our community, then we really want to make sure we recognize that work and also do share more perks and just engage much more to gather more feedback from our heroes and superheroes, to create more initiatives for them because of the amazing things that they've done, and we really want to make sure we give back. And one of our recent community members and contributors that became Rasa Hero was Angus. He's really just done some incredible work, some really extraordinary work actually, on utilizing Rasa Open Source NLU. So one of his recent articles and projects that he was working on actually was how to utilize Rasa Open Source NLU to build an assistant for blind and partially sighted people. So he actually worked on this this project, which also incorporates voice as well, voice elements. And he wrote a whole article explaining how he worked on this, why he worked on it. And it was also a really fascinating project to me. I think it really is in line very much with our mission at Rasa to make it more accessible to everyone, and to make assistants more and voice assistants more accessible. So I think we're very much in line with and very empathetic to Angus's goal and really believe in what he's doing. And I know that he's working on even more articles about this and further expanding his kind of publications on it. And so the next showcase actually would like to have a live interview with him as well to also maybe answer some of your questions about this project. Next actually is Peter. So Peter actually has published over 20 articles on dev.to on Rasa. So I think this could be also very valuable for you to know about. He's from Czech Republic, excuse me. He's actually a junior software developer, but he's also an avid author on dev.to. If I can just pick one out maybe just to show you. So here you can see over 20 articles, absolutely incredible, amazing in just a short space of time. And not only has he done that, but he's also, it's so well formatted and so great with all of these examples and, real examples that he's worked on, that he's taken care of himself. You can also expand and copy his work here as well, and easily copy the code. And yeah, it's just really, really insightful, really useful. All these kind of topics that he's published, very, very, very in depth, as you can see. And additionally, what is just something I really love as well is that he's also responding and supporting questions about these particular integrations or tutorials that he's been working on. So yeah, awesome stuff. Really, really cool. And next thing that I wanted to highlight as well, Brandon James. So he's actually based in Argentina, and he's been working also with the community since a couple of years, 2019. And since then he's actually published, or quite some time ago, he actually published an article, Conversational AI with BERT Made Easy. So in there he actually kind of deep dives a bit more into transformers, and also he also kind of shows like this intent summary overview, and kind of shows these transformers working in action. So he also mentioned in there the dual intent entity transformer, which is what we also, our team worked on in Rasa as well. And yeah, it's a really, really great deep dive. He's since then done some great talks at PyData Global, been helping with the typo project on which Vincent is heading, which is actually also a really interesting tool, basically to improve the data quality as well of your bot. And something also to maybe take a look at. But in the end, really amazing work as well by Brandon, and just another really great community member that's going above and beyond. So it's just really amazing to see. So a big thank you to all of them. And I would definitely say if you are interested in some of the tutorials or some of the information, then worth to check out our forum and check out these announcements as well. And next, so hey Nick, great to see you. I'm using one screen right now. I hope that I can also update my streaming setup so that I can also use another screen so that I don't have to keep switching tabs. I'm sorry for that. We're just gonna have to run with it today. But just getting started again. So, but great to have you here, and thanks for joining. Next, so the next thing I wanted to kind of touch on as well, and I think it's also really good for you to be aware of on a routine basis, like what we're working on in the community team, especially, and in DevRel. So one of the things I really wanted to actually highlight is the fact that we're updating our workshops and making them more accessible, and that's our goal. So I know that it's something that is a really big point for our community. Obviously, lots of folks are either wanting to advance their skills in Rasa, or they are, maybe new to Rasa and want to just kind of start to understand and get into it. So, workshops are definitely something that I've noticed that the community is very passionate about. And so at the same time, we also run a developer survey this year. And we run that every year to get like an indication from the community, like what people are interested in, what are the blockers, so that we can make content, and developer relations team can make content on this and really home in and, really make sure that we're isolating things that are important to our community. So one of the things that came up, so there was kind of two big challenges, and one of them was actually accessibility or lack of funds for educational or professional development. So what we want to do actually is make these workshops much more accessible. We want to have to update them, of course, so that they have the latest releases, that they are currently outdated, and we're still working with the highest priority to get things updated, and at the same time to make the process a bit more automated. So I know that there's also delays with getting like badges and things like that, but we're currently doing a lot of things manually and kind of re-managing some resources internally, but we are wanting to find a better option with an API call to our forum so that everything is nicely automated and done very quickly. So we are working with highest priority for this one. The other thing that came up in the survey I wanted to mention actually was lack of, so I just have some notes here, but lack of NLU components for target languages, and why I wanted to mention to you, if you're interested as well in this. So we actually have our Rasa blog. Let's just open that up. A new tutorial, also a beautiful new blog as well, courtesy by Lou in our team as well. I've been working on it. So this one, Vincent has actually been working on some educational resources as well for non-English tools for Rasa NLU. So there you can also get a bit more insight into that, how it's working with Spacey and the different featureizers, and a whole blog post focused on this. So we definitely want to make sure that we're providing information and resources for folks that want this. And I've personally also seen a huge growth in our community. Obviously globally is an amazing thing, but it means there's also these unique challenges for languages when people want to make bots in multilingual bots, and so we want to also take care of that community as well. And the next thing I wanted to mention, and things that we're working on, so understanding Rasa deployments core. So it's actually something, when we announced the Conversational with AI series, so the series that is actually worked on by Rachel, Yesta, and Vincent, who are doing a great job putting together this series, like through kind of a guide of building Rasa from scratch all the way up until production. And and so basically we wanted, or what happened is I also announced this to a community, and we were interacting with the community, but also our community is really interested in knowing or understanding a bit more about deployments. So actually Vincent is currently working on also a course for this, and I don't have a ETA right now when it's published or any more details, but it's being worked on, and I think it'll be something following on from the current Conversation with AI series. So just so you know, that's something we also want to cover, and we know that you're interested in. The other thing from my side is obviously just more community showcases. I really want to kick this off and do more live streaming. So the idea is I would like it to be more engaging and interactive, and would like to also gather your feedback about things that you'd like to see, what we could include in these streams, what we can do. I would love to invite you also into the stream, talk about your projects and things like that. As I mentioned, we should also have Angus in the next one, which will be really great to answer some questions and maybe share some knowledge about his particular use case in his bot. And and then also we are also expanding and investing in our DevRel team as well, and therefore you guys and our community. So absolutely, we want to expand community. We want to work on things, work on more initiatives, and have more capacity to work on more initiatives, and take care of our really quickly growing community, which is super exciting for me as well. And looking forward to providing even more initiatives and expansions to our programs. So really cool. And more stuff. So I will probably have some time soon to talk even more about it. So I'm sure in the next episodes and things we can definitely talk even more about some things that we're working on, and I would like to deep dive even more into them. So before I move on to the video, actually, I just wanted to check, how's it going in chat? Thank you, Nick. It's really great to hear from you all. I made a little poll actually. Let's see how the poll is going. So I just wanted to get an idea of who's watching and like your experience level. Sorry, I mistyped that there. Cool. So a lot of you are working on your first bot. I mean, we have a few folks here watching now, but yeah, since majority are still working on the first bot, and already some really experienced folks as well working on several bots. So I would like to also run these polls a few times to get an idea, a sense of community and like how far you are in your development and the kind of things maybe you're interested to know, like what level you're at. But yeah, great to hear about deployment course. Yeah, I'm glad that you're also happy about this and that it's something you're interested in. So I'll definitely pass that on to Vincent as well. I'm sure it'd be great. So, you guys, you're so sweet. Great, Stu. Yes, I can send, can you send your GitHub link? Julian, I'm not sure if Julian's in the chat or if it's Julian. I'm just wondering if I can help maybe by sending the GitHub link for Julian. But if anyone else can send it, that would be great. But otherwise, I'm definitely going to update the description in this video for people to catch all of the links that I'm talking about today as well. Okay. In the meantime, then, I can actually jump into the chat and answer questions there. If you have any questions about projects or community-related things, like just let me know. But in the meantime, I'm going to play this video, which is something I put together previously, which is a deep dive into some bots that are actually running right now, and and I would like to do this more in the future as well. So let's maybe check out this video. Welcome everyone to our first ever community showcase episode. I'm Emma, the developer community manager at Rasa, and today I am super hyped to show you 5 awesome projects put together by our very own Rasa community. If you want your own projects featured in a future video, be sure to submit them by using the submissions form I linked in the description. If you also open source your projects or even accompany them with a tutorial or guide, then we would love to enter you into our contributor program. You can find out more details about that, the goodies and perks that come with it, in the description below, so please send them our way. Alright, without further ado, let's dive into some of the awesome community projects I have lined up for you today. First up is a project put together by 2 software engineers based in San Jose, California, Amit Talapragada and Alvin Sankar. They actually worked on a fire alert bot for California residents. They observed that in the early days of the fires in California, news outlets and local governments provided a confusing mix of updates about fire containment, evacuation zones, leading to some residents to evacuate unnecessarily. So, they teamed up to build a chatbot that would return accurate information about conditions in the individual cities, including nearby fires, air quality, and weather data. Using Rasa Open Source and Twilio, they managed to quickly build a chat interface for the API supplying the data, and Rasa Open Source was used to classify city and county names, recognize intents, and handle dialogue. If you closely look into their code, you may notice they even added a cool mechanism using custom actions that will help detect the city that you live in, even if you accidentally misspell it. So far, the assistant has handled over 2,000 individual sessions in a month, helping Californians stay safe and informed about wildfires in their area. So a huge shout out to them and their really, really exceptional project. Awesome work, Amit and Arvind. Next, I'd like to highlight an integration made by one of our avid forum members, Hung Vu, who is also a big fan of cats, if you hadn't noticed. It's a fairly simple React Native project integrating Rasa Open Source with REST, but what's really cool about it is that Hung Vu has gone above and beyond to also accompany his integration with a detailed tutorial directly on GitHub. So, taking a look at Hung Vu's actual project, you can see on his repository here, React Native Rasa, and yeah, quite a lot of files, a lot of work went into this for sure. Yeah, so what's really, really awesome about this project is that Hongo actually put in a lot of effort into the README and really outlined so much detail about how to use this actual integration, how to integrate it with Rasa. He even made a setup guide, also regarding the message format, also on running Rasa with the action server. And it was really nice as well that he even provided lots of kind of screenshots and snippets showing you what code is really relevant, and even added kind of a code snippet here as well for adding your own React Native app, which is super cool. And yeah, and so also, he outlined the props and even give like a preview to show how the bot looks when it's running, which is so cool. And then obviously a to-do list so that the community knows also what's coming up, what would be great to work on. And yeah, a big shout out here to the project because yeah, PRs are welcome. So if you want to also collaborate on this project, you can reach out or start the project and just open an issue or PR. So yeah. Now let's move on to a really cool hardware project by Hussein Ben Mahfoud. Hussein is a solutions architect at Machine Learning Architects in Basel. He's working on various projects during his studies and in his free time, just like this one. A remote control car using Rasa NLU. The best way to learn more about this project is to check out his demo video, so let's take a look.
I am a bot powered by Rasa.
Move forward.
Go, go, go. Go back.
Go, go, go.
As you can see from the video, Hussein is using an Android app for speech-to-text and text-to-speech, a sun-founded Raspberry Pi car, and last but not least, Rasa Open Source for natural language understanding. What's really neat about this project is that Hussein has managed to make all these hardware and software integrations work harmoniously. For us, it's always impressive to see the range of Rasa integrations the community is able to achieve, so keep up the great work. We really love to see more projects like this. Go, go, go. Another great project by one of our very own Rasa Hero contributors, Neil Stoker, who is a Senior Director in Global Operations Management at Fitch Ratings. Neil is working on a voice-enabled chatbot which can answer questions about the British royal family. In this video I'm about to show you, he demonstrates his bot working with Rasa X, an interface that supports you in building your bot, and shares this demo which he has recently updated to work with Rasa 2.0 versions, which he has hooked up to a speech project called Simple Speech Loop. This allows you to talk and hear responses from the bot. The input is using a mic that feeds local speech recognition Wave2Vec 2.0 with an output speech using a text-to-speech model which he has trained on publicly accessible domain speech. One of the cool capabilities in this video, which Neil also outlines, is that the bot, speech recognition and text-to-speech all run locally, so it can also be run entirely locally on a private cloud infrastructure. So let's take a look at the video demo and see what this is all about.
Okay, so today's video I'm just going to go through a tool called Rasa X, which is something that they've released. It's a nice UI for allowing you to build chatbots and things, and I thought I'd kind of revive an old chatbot project I had, which worked on the old original version of Rasa, and make it work on 2.0, which you can then use with Rasa X. So, who was king after Richard the Lionheart?
John the First.
When was he born?
He was born on the 24th of December, 1166.
Show me a picture of him.
A picture of John the First.
Show me a picture of Elizabeth I.
A picture of Elizabeth I.
Which kings were in the 17th century?
James the First, Charles the First, Charles the Second, James the Second, William the Third.
What are some events from the life of George III?
1764, James Hargreaves invents the spinning jenny. 1765, James Watt invents the improved steam engine utilizing a separate condenser. 1798, Edward Jenner develops the first successful vaccine.
Last but not least, let's talk about co-contribution by our very own Rasa superhero contributor, Julian Gerhard. Julian has worked on some of the most incredible projects with Rasa, such as his custom-made smart speaker. You can check more of them out on the Rasa Community Showcase on our website, but for now, let's talk code. Julian made this contribution to one of our experimental repositories, Rasa NLU Examples. In fact, to help us understand more about this project, we got into touch with Julian himself for a quick interview to learn more.
Thanks, I'm doing very good. I'm honored to be part of such a great community, and I always love talking to you. So yeah, cool that I can be here.
So good. I'm also really happy to have a catch up with you and find out what you've been working on. Yeah, and so I think just to give maybe a bit of an outline about the contribution a little bit. So it was a contribution that was made to the NLU Examples repository, and yeah, the repository is pretty much containing like example components meant for educational, like inspirational purposes for the community, and these components that are they're open source and pretty much like to encourage experimentation within the community. But at the same time, the components are also not really officially supported, and it's really like a community-driven project. But at the same time, very much part of our contributor program. And yeah, and so it was really great to see that you were also working with Vincent a little bit on this and push it live on the repository. So yeah, I guess my first question for you is, could you tell us maybe a bit more about how it supports the community and just how it works?
So basically, we are talking about natural language understanding in a very general way and in detail. It's basically about understanding language written or spoken. And this is, I think, about getting the right meaning of text, of spoken text. And yeah, actually, I think everyone is familiar with kind of out of vocabulary words. So sometimes you want to understand something, and then there occur words you don't know, you have never seen, something like that. And this can happen to a machine as well. And there are several ways to handle occurrences like this. And yeah, generally, if we are talking about embeddings, word embeddings, handling those out of vocabulary words mean training some kind of general embeddings, but they aren't really helpful. And what those subword embeddings or byte pair embeddings want to achieve basically is the assumption that if we split a word into maybe meaningful parts, maybe we could train embeddings on those meaningful parts to overcome the mentioned problem. So a good example is terms that are often used for illnesses like osteoporosis or toxoplasmosis. I think you're familiar with them. And the term osis often indicates this kind of condition or disease or illness. And if we now would learn that osis has this specific meaning, we might want to be able to understand that osteoporosis or toxoplasmosis might be conditions or diseases. So basically, it's about splitting a word into meaningful parts and then apply an embedding training process on them and not on the full word. Basically, this is how I would explain what we are trying to do here. Basically, what I did is once I figured out that this could be helpful for my personal use cases as well, I started to do some research. And of course, you all are familiar with pre-trained word embeddings like fast text and others in this domain. And so are there some word embeddings for subword embeddings as well. And I stumbled upon them and I wondered if this could be useful in a training process of a Rasa AI. Because actually the German language, which is my main language, consists of many compounds. And I think it's it's only natural to assume that if we want to understand the meaning of compounds, this technique might be very, very helpful, because we can split compounds in their original parts and we can try to understand the meaning of the original word. And basically what a subword embedding technically does is it moves over a frame in a given character, in a given list of characters, and try to actually create words from them. So it might be the case that the training process discovers the character T, and then it discovers the character H, but combined as TH, this isn't a real word, but combining it with an E, it's actually the English article the, and this is how word embeddings on a subword level are actually applied. So we are moving through a list of characters, and we try to get whole word parts which have a meaning, and then we maybe could extend this frame to have a longer word. And then summed up, what we did is what I mentioned earlier. We split a word into every occurrence of every other possible word inside the original one. So basically, this is how it works behind the scenes.
Maybe also just to mention, if people want to also find out more about like word embeddings, Rachel has a really amazing series as well, NLP for developers, and in one episode she does do like also a kind of overview of word embeddings. And of course, if you want to go even deeper into kind of word embeddings and byte pair embeddings specifically, also Vincent does also a really, really awesome series on his whiteboard algorithm whiteboard series as well. So there's, I think, byte pair embeddings, and I think there's even more about like kind of supervised embeddings and all these kind of topics. So yeah, if anyone wants to check that out, I'll also put in a link in the description. That's really cool. And yeah, I wanted to ask you a little bit more about also just a bit more about like what motivated you to like contribute such a kind of piece of code, and really valuable piece of code for this repository as well. And
basically the answer to this is very easy. Most of the times contributing something like this is very egoistic because actually I'm dealing with German language in a business, and as most of you might be or might already know, the new techniques in natural language understanding or in the area of artificial intelligence in almost every case are developed on English, on the English language. So having good pre-trained embeddings, good pre-trained models for certain scenarios is rare regarding the German language. So most of the times I'm facing an issue that has maybe been solved in another language, but not for the German one. And yeah, I need to deal with it. And the second thing is, I assume that taking some already existing subword embeddings and actually modify their implementation such that we or the Rasa pipeline can use it might be a quick win, regarding the fact that we already have this NLU examples repository, which enables us to kind of experiment with new techniques, new embeddings, new models, new training processes. And I thought it would be cool to have a benefit for my own scenario, but also to contribute something to the community, especially regarding the fact that there are other German users, or basically non-English users, which language ever might be interesting here. So yeah, that led to me writing to Vincent if this might be interesting, if he has seen it, and if he would be interested in the contribution. And he was super happy with this and said, yeah, that's cool, let's do. And yeah, actually this is the answer.
Yeah, that's so good. And so I guess it was that it was quite straightforward to make the contribution. You just pretty much reached out to Vincent, and did you open maybe an issue or?
Yeah, basically I wrote him as a contributor in other repositories. The process itself is familiar to me, but in this case I decided to not simply open a pull request or an issue. Because I decided to discuss with Vincent if there's really a general benefit for other interested community members, because it might be the case that it's only helpful for me at this specific moment and not to others. But he said, oh, that's very, very interesting. Let's talk about how to include it and if we could include it. And the process of contributing itself was pretty straightforward, as the way of integrating this kind of code into the existing repository is very easy because of the good previous work. So yeah, it's the only thing that one need to consider, in my opinion, is that contributing something like embeddings that might give a benefit to a potential trained model means that we need to ensure the quality of such an extension, because as you already know, if we train based on wrong assumptions or bad quality data or something like this, this might confuse the model. So we should not simply add stuff, but carefully think about what we add to our pipelines. So I discussed in detail with Vincent how to make sure that we won't decrease the quality of training a model and understanding language in the end. But besides that, it was very straightforward, right?
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much for contributing to it and just making it even better and even more useful for community. So yeah, thank you so much, Julian. It's been also really great to catch up with you.
Yeah, you're very welcome, as always.
All right, folks, that's it for this episode. Alrighty. So I just cut out there. I really like to hear your feedback. It's really nice to hear that this is something that's interesting for you as well. And at the same time, I mean, the work that Julian also has been doing, I think anyone that's in the community for a while, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the video, like things that he works on, the things that he does is always so fascinating. Some of the projects that he builds himself and the way that he supports our community on the forum and just all these kind of things. I always love to hear from him about what he's working on and some of the new things that he's working on himself. And I know that recently he also had some great news, first in news, that he had his first son, but I know that he'll be back in the community very soon with us and working on some new projects regarding his avatar project as well. And I think it's probably worth to sit and chat with him about all of these really great smart speaker things that he's been working on, the projects, the smart speaker project, for example, and all these kinds of things. So yeah, really, really cool. But yeah, I think actually, so that's pretty much everything that I wanted to share with you. I really wanted to highlight some of the really interesting projects. At the same time, there's far more interesting projects that are also going on in the community. Some really cool stuff also coming from Deshant as well, and some others there. I think that we can also maybe chat more about the Discord channel that he's working on and lots of other things. It's just really endless, and I really want to have an outlet to start talking about all these really, really cool things. So yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, and thanks so much for sharing your feedback in the channel. Like I said, I will share the links to everything in the description. And at the same time, I want to wish you a wonderful weekend as well. So wherever you are, the rest of your Friday and the rest of your weekend. So yeah, thanks and happy bot building, and I'll hope to see you also in the next one. So bye everyone.